What's up, everybody? New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. Let's talk about that in a second, but first I just had to play this couple of seconds. Please, no copyright strike. Just saying I appreciate. Just loving this channel Swiss beatbox at the moment. Thanks, guys. So look, there it is. Tuesday, December 31st. There we have it. Alright, so, it's not that I don't like going out and spending time with people. You might say I've grown to become sociopathic, but I'm not, I didn't come into this world sociopathic. It's just after I've, realized the organic portals more and more, I've decided to go further and further. The more I've realized, even souled humans taking on, organic portal natures and mannerisms and so on. And the more I realized, hey, hold on, there's a great number of these, matrix props, the organic portals, so on and so forth, as I realized, how they make me feel bad. Just, to put it very simple, don't make me feel good. Don't feel good around them. And they're everywhere out in public, every time I go out. So, it's not that just I'm some, absolute psycho sociopath that thinks, people are bad, but when we learn about the organic portal, it really can't be put, another way. You can't say they're good. You can't. Comment under this video if you think you can and tell me how so. Because even when we look at positively or neutrally, look at the OP, even then you can't say they're good. We say, they're there with adversity, or, mirroring you and helping you become more conscious of yourself. But even in those good ways, they annoy you. They're annoying as shit. So you can't really say, they're good. So in the end, you end up just realizing that, you're not, in the same situation you were when you were younger, when you used to just not even think about it, just used to go out all the time with friends. Just, it seems to me these days that I just do the exact opposite. And whenever, like right now even, whenever I raise my frequency and have a higher frequency, they come. They're just always around at the perfect time. That's why I call gang stalking frequency stalking. Because there's something I notice. Whenever my frequency is up, they come to depress it. That's how it works. They're frequency stalkers. And it's by any means necessary. They don't know they're involved. It's the hive mind moving them like pawns. They don't seem to have a clue what's going on, you know what I mean? That they're in some, synchronistic orbit around you or something, They've got no idea. They're completely clueless. Because you bring something up with them, something like the timing, and it's just coincidence in their universe. Because their universe is the universe that's called third dimension, and it's fragmented. It's like an eddy off the flow of, infinite timelessness, the third dimension. It's like an eddy off the infinite timelessness, the flow. That which will always be. And so being from the third dimension, these things, just their bodies and so on, they have no idea about synchronistic serendipitous, circumstance. And it's not happenstance, it's not by mistake, See, they're the opposite of me, a way shower. A way shower is someone who knows stuff. I do know. I'm not confused. No, I don't know everything, but you understand what I mean. I'm not just like, whatever, I don't know. I try to know, and I try to say why instead of whatever. So it's the exact opposite. They're unway showers, they're non-way showers, and every soul human has the ability to be a way shower for sure. Because you have the ability to, as a spirited human, to navigate matter. Now, physical reality, or what you guys call, reality, the moment of now is horizontal, where it's said that matter is horizontal on the cross of, where vertically spirit navigates through horizontal timelines, so you can go backward and forward, and this is how you see upstream, and they can't. The organic portal doesn't see upstream, they don't see downstream. They can't see at all. But yeah, that's because they're spiritless humans, and matter is horizontal on the vertical spiritual cross, on the cross of spirit. And that's how we can do past life regressions and see upstream and downstream and all that. So anyway, what I've found is, I've become more and more sociopathic. I'm proud of it, because when society is in such a sick state as it is now, I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? I'm not like ashamed, because people out there are saying, psychopaths are sociopaths. But the thing is, it's completely opposite with the organic portal. You see, I talked about this in a few videos, but I mean, I don't know how. Maybe I have to make a special video on maximum novelty domain. I said recently, you can't navigate now with one set of commandments, one set of rules, one navigationary map, etc. It's it's said that the past is now no longer an accurate guide to the future, because we've entered maximum novelty domain post 2012. During history, it was very, very, very predictable up until the end, and now we've hit maximum novelty domain. So now if you want to make predictions, it's much more difficult. It's like all the layers and fractal layers of times is unleashed. If you remember the time wave zero, it's fractal. Time is fractal, it turns out. Thank you, Terence. Because I don't know if we would have figured that one out. Hey, some of us smart cookies might have, but yeah, it was a very good realization for me anyway, to realize that time is fractal. That's amazing. It's not just, hey, we're in an arrow of time. That's the third dimensional arrow of time, That third dimension is not where time comes from, you see. That's the ninth dimension, and I believe that the time wave zero of Terence McKenna is a oscillation of ninth dimensional nature. Anyway, let's get back on track on this talk. So, there's a lot of people out there, they put like sociopathy next to psychopathy. And then we call, the organic portals that they're inherently psychopathic, and I've made one video about that. I completely forgot what I've said in that video. That's got almost 2,000 views now. Good on you guys. Someone must have shared that video. Please share these other videos, because you'll be surprised how much it makes the video take off. And then you don't have to slave labor, press that 1 second like button, because maybe 10 of your friends do it for you, me. You see? So please do share the videos. Anyway, so I've become more and more of a sociopath over time, and what I realized is, when I was going through university, it was the same thing. I hated going to lectures, I hated being on time, and that's got to do with, I'm a very on-time person, but I hated being on time in public, to meet, the public, or my general, class at university, maybe you might see, because when you're gang stalked and a targeted individual, you'll notice that there's a peculiar happening around timings of things where, you're stalked, hence the term gang stalking. But yeah, it's peculiar. And I said before, gang stalking is frequency stalking and about your frequency. But yeah, you'll just notice a peculiar timing. And so this is one thing I think that's really put me off, the timing of gang stalking, associate that with, the targeting of you, being a targeted individual. Then every time you go out in public, it's like every single time. And the more you awaken, the more you realize it is every single time. It's not a if, but, maybe, happenstance, sometimes on Monday and Friday only. It seems that it's every time. And you're like, oh my God, once you become more aware of it, it's not like it goes away and it fades in the background and, oh, you were crazy. It's the opposite. You tune into it and you're like, oh my God, I'm not nuts. Something really is going on, and it's going on every single time I appear in public. Right? All the true gang stalkees, they'll know what I mean. Like, you get mobbed, you get this, you get that. It's targeting. Anyway, so the more and more that happened over time, I just naturally fell back out of wanting to be around people at all. And then so every holiday would come around to meet the family. I'm talking now like 10 years ago or whatever, and I'd be like, I just don't want to go. Or they're going to sit there, they're going to triangulate against me, the family will start pushing you into social ways, and why haven't you got a job? Where is your kids? Why aren't you married yet? You know what I mean. Might not be those questions, but you get what I'm trying to put down. You understand what I mean. They start the triangulating upon you, start digging into you too much, and not in a friendly way. So what is going on, right? And us people in gang stalk and the organic portal movement, we know. And look, we're making videos about it. So why don't you try and listen? Listen along, friends, because we're going to reveal all of that, if it's not already. Many good channels out there. Over the next few years, I'm going to be making a lot more TI and gang stalking videos, not just organic portal videos. So yeah, once, I figured out that whole thing, I was like, well, why is it the same every year? I don't care about Christmas. I don't care about, I don't know, like now, New Year's Eve, or I don't know, whatever other holiday you can think of. To me, every day was, there's like Australia Day celebration in Australia, and everyone goes nuts and they celebrate Australia Day, and I'm like, yeah, fantastic, but for me, every day is Australia Day. Every day is like a day to, celebrate that I'm alive and all that malarkey, And, I just started to realize it's like boring timing to all this, and it's just every year, and it's just the timing, I think, also that threw me off. It felt too robotic. It feels too robotic. Now, sure, everybody's been hard at work, little robot ants for the Matrix all year, and so now you all want to blow off some steam, just drink a bottle of Bacardi, and, get over it for the night, right? And so people go out and get slaughtered on New Year's Eve, and that's cool. I used to do that until, I can't remember how old, but until around my 20s, until I was around 19. And at 19, it got old for me, because I was the kid who was out, during 16 and 15 and that, where a lot of kids were locked up in their houses still. We were the cool kid crew, and we would just be like, no, we're going out. See you later. I do what I want to. So by the time that everybody else, was into clubbing and all that at 18, 19, I was over it already. I'd already snuck into the clubs underage and blah, blah, blah. So by the time most people were ready for that, I was over it at age 19. So you can see why I'm so vehement on creating these, so venomous with my organic portal video creation. Because it's deeply ingrained long before I found out the words OP, organic portal, right? That just made things more clear. I used to call them the societals. I used to call them the sleepwalkers and the societals. And I noticed that they're always very, very tuned in to what is socially going on. It's because they move as the hive conglomerate. And this is what I'm saying about how, I've become so much more sociopathic than I ever would have dreamed. It's not like it was a dream. It's just happened naturally in a sick society. I've become sociopath. But the thing is, I don't feel it's a pathology for me. It kind of is, and you get that lonely pathology and stuff, but that's all right. You can deal with that. But what I'm saying is it's the sick society that's pathological, and in a time of sick society pathology, you should be, proud and you're a rebel and you're healthy for being sociopathic. That's the way I see it these days. It's the exact opposite of, the original terminology of what a sociopath is. So anyway, I'm going to have to rewrite the books again. Rewrite the definition with this one. I'm always doing that as a soul-spirited human. So, I don't know, I just find this very interesting because, they say go above the conscious grid, and that's why I like mountain climbing up, really tall mountains, like not because I'm like a nature hiker and I just love to hike. Just, I don't know, that's always been a little odd to me. I get it, nature's beautiful and I've been out there my whole life. But I'm not like, a specific nature hiker or something. I just like to get above the conscious grid is what I realised. That's what's happening up there. Go to the top of the mountain and you can hear your thoughts differently. What's going on there? Well, when we watch Star Trek, we watch about the Borg and the hive mind, like 7 of 9 out of Star Trek Voyager. When they rescue 7 out of 9, the Borg lady, she slowly comes out of, Borg life and Borg style. And there's one episode where they're saving, I think, some other Borgs, and they're like, oh, thank God we're disconnected from the hive. All you ever hear is, all the voices of the hive. That's what it's like to be an organic portal. That's all they hear. Now, it's subconscious. They don't have probably the voice just running in their head all day of what the hives are saying. The hive mind is running through them unconsciously and subconsciously. They're not aware. That's why they do all this stuff. Move, so conspicuously in front of you and I don't know, to status quo you out or control your frequency or whatever it is that day. And so one reason I love getting above, the conscious grid is to get this clarity. And it's like very noticeable. Go up to a tall mountain and climb it and sit up there just for even a couple of minutes and you realize this. You can feel it. And it is, literal, it is pragmatic, right? Just because you can't see the air doesn't mean you're not breathing the air. It's the same thing with frequencies from people. In the city, for instance, perfect example, exact opposite of nobody up the top of the mountain, you've suddenly got 10 billion people surrounding you. You've got like 1,000 people running around, and it's like that. You can begin to hear the thoughts if you tune in. Well, it's the opposite up the top of the mountain. You tune out of that hive mind. So that's one reason I've naturally become sociopathic. When everybody is busy, they don't seem to focus on you. Like New Year's Eve, like if everybody's, go nuts, have your parties. Good, leave me alone. You get it? It's like, then it's funny, I can meditate amongst the most noise. Sometimes I have much more trouble meditating when it's silent. And I mean the awkward silence around, that's somewhere around you, even at the beach. The other day someone walked up on me. I don't even want to go into it. But you think you're alone, and you're not suddenly. Oh, where did this person just come from? Oh, hello, organic portal. My God, you should have seen it the other day. Oh my God. Anyway, so that's what I was trying to say, my idea. I can meditate better sometimes when they're at full distraction, at full loud. play your music, I don't even care. That stuff all tunes out. Then I can have a proper meditation. I actually tune out from this reality completely, only because they're not then paying attention to me, which is, physically I don't feel the attention grabbing me, their attention grabbing me. So you physically don't feel them anymore. It's very subtle, the energy suckers and so on. But this is all feelable. I feel it in vibrations, in abhorrent vibrations suddenly. Oh, someone to the right of me is an OP, someone to the left of me is an OP. I can feel their vibration. And what I'm saying is when they're all busy and their attention is pointed the opposite way from you or me, in this case of this story, and this is what it's like in my opinion, when they're faced away from you, it's like all the suckers and all that are off you. I can finally meditate. And it's funny, it can be loud as hell and I can get a better meditation in than if there's an awkward silence, like the awkward organic portal silence where they're really listening. They're not really doing anything and concentrating on themselves. They're being quiet in order to try and hear you and listen to you, the atypical organic portal silence, that they're not, because they're not busy in their head. There's nothing going on there in the way that we are having like a cosmic epiphany. Hey, I'm trying to think. It's not the same for them. I've said their bare lawns, grow food, not lawns. Their bare lawns reflect their bare minds. Isn't that obvious? Anyway, so this lecture was really about how I've just naturally become sociopathic because the society is pathologically sick. And I just wanted to say how, look, it's even New Year's Eve, I'm not going out after this, I'm just going to be sleeping and thinking and chilling. Gonna watch some music online, and that's my little bit of, tune out excitement. But I don't need to make it a massive celebration or anything. None of these dates, because every day you bring that feeling, and it might sound corny, but I literally do that. It's an inner enthusiasm you bring to every day. So no wonder they're, there's the biggest sad sack, negative people you've ever met, terrible energetic people, these organic portals. They're not in their bliss, they don't follow bliss. Bliss is got to do with crown chakra and heart chakra open anyway, and we know they're not in the higher upper chakras, so this all fits together. Yeah, no, it's been weird over the years, slowly it has happened by itself, very shamanic too, because the shaman is said to stand outside of the social circle, right? That's one thing a shaman is. And so obviously it's no mistake, it's happened to me naturally over my life. My shaman name is Shaman Walking Crystal. No, I'm not a sitting bear. Anyway, maybe nobody gets that joke. Alright. Alright, so yes, it wasn't that funny. Keep going. So it's funny that I've naturally, had this tendency to kind of break away from the social structure, the fabric of society, and all the holidays, I don't celebrate them with enthusiasm. It's the opposite. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. They're all going to be doing this. Good, I can get over here and nobody will be in the jungle. They'll all be down at the beach, Rambler and partying. Or something, It makes them more predictable. But yeah, it's interesting. It's the same thing as going above the conscious grid when you climb up a high mountain. I find that by doing the opposite step to the social program, that I've been able to get a type of clarity from that. Hard to explain maybe, but it's true. It's like a type of mental clarity. And you really, you can, I don't want to say physically, but you can metaphysically feel yourself stepping up and out of this thing. It's like you're really stepping out of a muck. This controlled, contrived, robotic yearly schedule. Also, on that matter, I mean, you may as well mention the Gregorian calendar isn't, some kind of ultimate god cycle calendar, right? It's just some crappy man-made calendar, the Gregorian time. So, that's also like a man-made, like robotic thing. Nature is much more flowing. I think, I don't have to speak on that, do I? How much, well, here we go. I'll just say this. We're in a universe where the only constant is change. So that will squash that, right? So anything robotic and, a man-made robotic obtrusion is like a wall that's going to be smashed apart, just like the Berlin Wall. So for me, I personally have smashed that Gregorian calendar, the normal social 365 days of every year apart. That's why I think also for New Year's Eve, it seems to me sometimes to not feel like New Year's Eve. Who knows what day it actually is? Do you see what I'm saying? You have to feel this, because it's not a day from the Gregorian calendar. That is not what day it is.